Now we're on to the main part of the press conference ahead of a special and unique evening at York Hall. Fight nights at the spiritual home of British boxing are always something else, and what makes this one so special is that the new partnership between Frank Warren, Queensberry Promotions, BT Sport and ITV. BT Sport will show a huge chunk of the card, as they always do, live from 8 p.m, but from 10:15 they will broadcast simultaneously with ITV1, guaranteeing even wider exposure for these upcoming boxers. It's great news for the boxers, fans, and BT Sport is showing a long-term commitment to our game by wanting to give these fighters an extended platform as they look to become household names. And of course, besides thanking BT Sport and ITV1, we can't go without mentioning our sponsors, 32 Reid, Foot Asylum, Unibet. Before we speak to everyone on the top table, of course with me on my right is Francis Warren. Out on the far right there, Dennis Mccann, a multiple amateur champion, trained by Alan Smith at the IBO Box Gym. I think Dennis has won all 5 pro fights, 4 by knockout, and there's already comparisons with Nazim Hamid. Out on the far left, Willie Hutchinson, the finest Scottish prospect in years. First ever Scot to win a world amateur gold. And he's trained by Dominic Ingle and won all 10 professional fights. Also here, in the official British super middleweight title eliminator between Cody Davies and Sadiq. It's a humdinger of a fight. A lot of people are pushed to pick a winner, but I'm sure whatever happens, Francis will be pushing for the victor to be fighting Lerone Richards, the British champion. Of course, finally we come to the main event. These boys boxed the draw last September here next door here. At the end of 12 rounds, Brad Foster and Reid couldn't be split, and of course anyone watching on TV or in York Hall this weekend will see another special fight between the pair before everyone goes home and watches BT Sport Box Office, where there's a little bit of a fight happening in Vegas between Fury and Wilder. But enough of me, let's hear from those who matter. Obvious question, Francis, to start. The link up between Queensberry Promotions, BT Sport and ITV.
Well, it's terrific news, and it's fantastic for the fans and for the fighters. You know, the extra exposure that these guys are going to get. You know, being in that ITV slot from 10:15 is going to be fantastic. BT Sport, you know, obviously, you know, showing their continued support and love of boxing. By partnering up with ITV and demonstrating that they're almost happy to share the wealth as it is. You know, it's a great advert for boxing. It's a great advert for grassroots boxing as well. The fact that this is a York Hall show that ITV have decided to get back involved with. You know, got a terrific top of the bill on Saturday with Lucian and Brad, with a full supporting undercard of absolute top talent.
Yes, it should be the template every time we come to York Hall.
Absolutely.
It's all. How crammed is this card though?
Well, it's just, you know, the tickets were gone within the day, so you know it's just an absolute testament to how popular these are young guys. These are, you know, the youngsters, or, you know, up and coming fighters. Some of them, you know, Lucian and Bradford, for them to have been through the fight that they've already been through, to go and do it again straight away is, you know, it's a real credit to both these guys. I think we're in for a terrific night.
Let's start talking about the fight. Let's talk about Dennis Mccann. He's still only 19. How exciting is it to be part of building up a young fighter like him from scratch?
It's very exciting. You know, you can just see him down there, little wry smile, Dennis the Menace scarf. He's doing things, you know. I mean, and then obviously, you know, when he gets in the ring, it's all about business. You know, he's doing things that are being, you know, likened to a certain Nazim Hamid. But he's very, very much his own man, and very much making his own way in this sport, and not put a foot wrong. And you know, as long as he keeps on training hard and listening to Al Smith down at the Queensberry Box, I should say, then I can't see too much, you know, going wrong for Dennis. And it's just about how much he wants it, and hopefully I know we're going to do the right things for him.
Some prospects can be rushed, others not rushed, should I say. Others can be fast tracked. Where does Dennis fall into that, given that he's still only 19, although he won a lot of amateur titles, didn't have any senior experience as such?
Well, you get some 19-year-olds that, take a few years to grow up. I think Dennis is, he's cut from different cloth. I think he's, although he might look like a cheeky young man, I think he's very much a man himself. Believes in his own ability and believes that he can mix it with guys who are older and maybe a bit stronger physically. But as you said, there's no rush with any youngsters, and I think it's maybe about holding the reins back and making sure he doesn't bolt off into the sunset. But I think obviously with Alan, Alan knows his fighters inside out, and it's a daily conversation to ask how are the guys getting on in the gym today.
Dennis, you're a fighting man, you'll fight anybody tomorrow if they ask you. Are you happy to be patient with France's wishes, and I dare say Alan?
Yeah, definitely. That's their job, innit, to keep me back. And to be honest, I'd fight anyone in my division right now. I'd be more than happy to. Matter of fact, I've got the weight above here as well, and I'd fight them as well. It doesn't bother me at all. I fancy my chances with all of them. For this camp, I've been barring some big kids, super bantams, featherweights, and none of them can deal with me, to be honest. And every time I jump in the ring with someone my own size, they have to get out within 4 or 5 rounds. So I'm definitely doing something good at the moment, anyway.
There's been some incredible comparisons with Nazim Hamid. How do you feel about that?
Obviously, Nazim's a great fighter, but I'm my own fighter, and I'm the only one Dennis Mccann. I always only one be Dennis Mccann, but obviously it's a very good thing that the public is saying I box like him, and which he is a world champion, which I'm going to be a world champion. It's obviously a good thing, isn't it?
I was looking the other day, he was only 12 weeks old when he lost to Barrera. Did you watch a lot of him?
Yeah, I watched those loads of times. He FaceTimed me, when he FaceTimed me, which is a bit of a shock out of the blue. And he's put a bit of beef on, hasn't he? He's put a bit of weight on.
A little bit, yeah.
That would me when I'm retired as well. A bit. He'd be the twin of me when I'm retired.
You'd be that size.
I'll be that size as well. With loads of money.
Even though you have 54 amateur fights, you only lost 4, which is amazing. 9 national titles. Were you not tempted to stay for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics?
No, I wasn't no interested in holding them, to be honest. I won everything I could possibly win. I beat every fighter I could possibly beat. To the youth Olympians, to world number 2s, and I beat everyone. I give away age every time, mostly as well. So I was just happy to turn pro. It was my dream. I watched boxing all my life. I've been in boxing since I was 4 years old, running around the gyms, torturing everyone. I remember one time where it was a Rumble show, and everyone was asleep in the bus. I shaved everyone's eyebrows off. Mine got shaven off as well though, so it didn't work out too good for me. I went home with one eyebrow.
Would you rather have made in the eye box for that sort of stuff?
Ask Al though, poor fella can't. I hit him by an accident. It's the bowler guy in the corner over there, look. I hit him by an accident there in the rib, and he ain't sleeping properly over it. I do apologise, Al. You don't get paid enough for the torture you get put through.
Everyone picks up on your youthful look. I understand you're getting married soon.
Yeah, I'm getting married in 3.5 weeks. Big girl then, won't I? Got to step up then, I.
Thanks very much, Dennis. Francis, let's move on to Willie. He signed with Queensberry in 2018. You must be excited with what you've seen so far.
Absolutely. Another real gent. It's a pleasure to work with Willie, and I know he's coming on leaps and bounds every fight. Talking about dropping down to super middle.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to. I'm sure if he's not in the dressing room, he'll have definitely peeking his eye through the door watching Umar and Cody's fight, because it's an interesting one to make later on this year. But yeah, I mean Willie's a guy that we put a lot of focus and attention on, and someone I really firmly believe will win a world title in the years to come. But again, it's just about raising his profile, making sure that he gets the right fights at the right time, and continuing the great work he's doing with Domingo.
And he's still only 21, but you see him in title contention by the end of the year.
I think if you're talking about Cody, Umar, and Willie, I think they're the three. These 3 guys will all believe that they can all beat each other. And I think if you're talking about Umar and Cody being an eliminator, I'm sure Willie would believe he's in the same breath as that.
Well, guys, he's yet to fight in Scotland as a professional. Could that be on the horizon for him?
Yeah, definitely something that we want to look at doing at some point this year, definitely.
Willie, it's all going too easy for you so far because you're not getting out of second gear, are you?
Well, listen, it's all about learning, isn't it? I've had 10 fights now, this is my 11th fight. I'm just learning and progressing forward, really, innit? As long as I just keep winning and just keep moving forward, that's the main thing. Yeah.
You also joined Dominic as well as Frank and Queensberry in 2018.
Yeah.
You stopped 5 of your last 6. How well's the partnership with Dominic going in Sheffield?
Yeah, it's went very well. For Dom, he takes care of me, do you know what I mean? Looks after me. I just got married myself and I've got my wife now, and Dom's still helping me out, you know. Times he still makes food for me and stuff, and I'm always with him. I'm always with my coach, so yeah, we've got a good relationship and hope to God we all go all the way to the top, baby.
Most of your fights, you've been around light heavyweight. Are you going to get down to super middleweight, or is it something you still?
No, 100%. I'll get down to super middleweight, no problem. Just listen, I'm still growing. I'm only 21. Like I say, I'm still only young, but it's time to make the super middleweight division and make some noise. You know what I mean? This fella and Cody's fighting at the weekend, and I wouldn't mind fighting the winner of them. Two good lads, and fair play to them both for fighting. But listen, this is a fighting sport, isn't it? We all we're gonna be the champion, aren't we? So good luck to them both, and I'm ready to put on a show on Saturday night.
And are you ready for another KO scene? It's become the norm?
Listen, just whatever comes. Just as long as I win, I don't really care. If it's a knockout, if it's a points, it doesn't bother me at all. As long as I keep winning and moving forward, that's the plan.
You've just got married. Before we let you go, any tips for the groom-to-be at the end now?
Listen, it's not too bad. As long as they understand what you got to do, boxer's life is a hard life. That's all I've got to say. As long as she understands, get on.
Right, now we're going to discuss a fantastic British super middleweight title eliminator between Cody Davies and Umar Sadiq. A fascinating pick and fight in the trade. How would you rate the fight, Francis?
I rate it very highly. I think it's the British Boxing Board Control Greeks have given it the official eliminator status for the British title, currently held by Lorraine Richards. These two guys didn't have to take it. I think you see a lot of fighters these days in their position who just 6 and 8 rounders and keep ticking along, but they want to show who the best, the best of the best in the stable is, and this is what definitely the best way, the easiest way to prove it. Not maybe the easiest, but the best way to prove it. Cody had a good performance out last time. Eventually, after rocky first couple of rounds against Zach Chelly, and came out on top, and quite rightly, I think. Umar, since getting beat by Zach, unfortunately, he's come back and done it the hard way for the last couple of fights. He's gone out and got himself onto small hall shows, and fought his way back into contention. So fair play to both guys for taking the fight. As I said, they didn't have to. It wasn't it's they want to show that they've both got what it takes to compete at the moment at British level and hopefully beyond.
Thanks. Umar, you're in a rich vein of form since the loss to Zach. As it sits on the spin, you've won, you've gone away and come back on the small hall shows. What did you take from that setback?
I don't see it as a setback, I see it more as a delay. I'd rather lose early on in my career than later on. And as Francis alluded to afterwards, I've had 6 fights, only 2 of them have been on Queensberry shows. The other times I've gone out my way, sometimes not even in London. I'm a London-based fighter, backing myself, investing in myself, and that speaks for itself. People say actions speak louder than words. I've backed myself because I know where I'm going, I know my capabilities. I've stopped 5 out of the last 6 opponents I've boxed. Admittedly, they're not fighters with winning records, but the result is that I'm doing with them what I'm supposed to do with them. So, I'm now back to where I should have been about a year ago, and I'm looking forward to this fight. I think that, first of all, I'm really happy and appreciative of Cody's team taking this fight, because you know, as you and Francis just discussed, a lot of people at this stage of the career wouldn't take the fight. And at the time we took it, it wasn't even an eliminator. So, you know, it shows the belief that we have with each other. It's been very hard for me to get matched since losing to Zach, believe it or not. And yeah, so I'm really happy for them taking the fight. And I reckon on Saturday night, the fans are in for a very great show. Cody's a good fighter, GB boxer. He's got a world champion coaching him. He's got another world champion mentoring him. But when it's all said and done, I'm the man with the skills. I'm the man that is going to put,
It's going to get beat.
Yeah, cool. But when it's all said and done, on Saturday, he can say what he wants to say. I'm trying not to speak too much, as much as I'm talking. I'm a fucking talker right now. But I've got YouTube vlogging all that as well. But yeah, just quietly, what I'm trying to say is, Saturday night, it's going to be a very good show. I'm confident that I'm going to put a beating on him. I'm going to stop him, maybe late, maybe early, who knows. And he's going to say what he's going to say, but as I've proved with my actions last year, I'll want this, I'll go out and I'll do things, I'll let the actions speak. Like I said, I fought 4 fights out of Queensberry shows, stopped 5 out of 6 opponents. On Saturday, I'm going to do it again. And you know, he's going to say what he's going to say, but the reality is, in 2 days, just across the road, we're going to be in York, and everyone's going to see what happens.
Cody hasn't made 12 stone before, and there's been a thing made of that in the build-up to the fight. Do you think he makes it comfortably?
A lot of people have mentioned to me that they think that he struggles at the weight, and I teased them on social media recently. But the reality of the situation is, I'm confident in beating any man that steps in the ring with me, so I don't need to look for weaknesses in him. Whether or not he struggles to make the weight is none of my business. I just need him to make the weight on the day before, so that the fight is on. And like I said, on the day, I'm in to put on the beating, and that's it.
Cody, people might make you a slight favourite on the basis of the Chetty win. How do you see this fight against Umar going?
Firstly, I want to thank God. I believe without God, none of this would be possible for me. Secondly, I see the fight going how I wanted to go. You know, like I said, me and Gavin, we work in day in, day out. Gavin's already got a recipe for success to be a world champion. I'm following that day in, day out. You know, I'm not concentrating on my opponents and what they can do. I'm concentrating on myself and my ability to adapt to what's in front of me. And, you know, based on what we do in the gym, how comfortable I'm making this weight, and, you know, respect to Umar for taking this fight. You know, people say, I hear this all the time, you don't have to take this fight, you don't have to take that fight. The reality is, for me, I don't know about anybody else at this table, but for me, I got to take these fights. I have to take these fights. This is my life. It's not a job. It's not a hobby. This is what I do. This is in my blood. So, you know, any fight that presents itself to me that is going to progress me forward in my career, I'm going to take it and snap it with both hands. Simple as that. So yeah, I'm just ready to go. And I've got this fire burning inside my belly, which I'm struggling to contain. I'm just ready to burst out there on Saturday night, all calm, collected, and put on a fantastic display. And that's what I'm going to do.
Are you going to stay at 12 stone, or is light heavyweight also another option for you still?
To be quite honest with you, I know a lot of boys sit here and say I'm in the best shape ever, I've done this, I've done that, blah blah blah. But if I knew super middleweight would be this easy to make back when I turned pro, I'd never box a light heavyweight in the first place. I've been in fantastic shape, and you've heard all before, I'm in the best shape physically and mentally, blah blah blah. But I am telling you, with intent, I'm in the best shape I've been physically and mentally. I feel great. I feel fantastic.
You had a tough time also last year with outside issues. Do you feel better in yourself now?
I wouldn't say I feel better in myself. That's something that's going to live with me for the rest of my life. But you know, I'm dealing with it, and I wouldn't say I'm using it as fuel. Fuel is my fire, but it's definitely playing a massive part in my you know, my ambition and my drive. It's driving me forward continuously, day in, day out. I'm running, I'm training, I'm doing everything to the max. No stone's been left unturned, and it's going to show.
How do you feel about facing Lerone Richards later this year?
I feel fantastic about that. About his titles. You know, people say you already feel about facing him or him or him. It's not about names, it's about titles. It's about progressive, meaningful fights. That's what I want, that's what I'm here for.
Thank you.
Just before you move on, I'm just going to make a note there. I'm going to pull you up on this, Steve. I noticed there that you've asked him how he feels about facing Lerone, and you didn't ask me, so clearly that's your favourite. But so I'm just choosing not to let that slide. Yeah, put your noise. On Saturday we're going to see.
How do you feel about facing Lerone Richards? Now on to the main event between Lichfield's British and Commonwealth super bantamweight Brad Foster and the man on my left, West Ham's Lucian Reid. Both men undefeated. It's a chance to settle their differences after the first fight ended in a majority draw last September. Francis, a rematch that had to happen, isn't it?
think it's definitely the biggest rematch on Saturday, without a doubt. It was a terrific fight first time round. I think Brad, if he's honest with himself, probably didn't turn up as the full capabilities that he's got. And I think if Lucian is honest with himself, he surprised everybody with what he did over 12 rounds. He never done resistance before. So I think it made for a great fight the first time round. They both know what each other are about now. They both would have probably watched that fight 100 times and tried to work each other out as best they can. Trained extra hard, been in the gym those extra hours. Look forward to this even more than the first one, just to prove a point. And for me, it's a fight I can't wait to see again. Rematches sometimes don't live up to the hype, but I firmly believe that this one certainly will do.
And what does the future hold for both fighters? Because Queensberry promote both of them.
The winner will be smiling and the loser probably won't be. So I think I'm not looking any further past this fight on Saturday night. I mean, obviously we've got our plans and our ideas for the winner. The guy doesn't come out on top. Obviously, we look after our guys and they'll come again. However, I don't think there's any more incentive needed than getting a W for both of these guys on Saturday.
Brad, dust has settled from the first fight. When you look back on it now, how do you think it should have gone on the night?
It was a good fight. It was an entertaining fight. I don't think I was at my best, but that's why this time I've got to settle the score. I've got to put it right.
Do you understand why some people might think Lucian did enough that night?
Everyone's got their opinions, isn't they? At the end of the day, it's boxing. Some people say I won, some people say he won, some people say it was a draw. But I'm confident we're going to settle it now. So looking forward to it.
What do you have to do differently this time?
Punch in more times than he punches.
Last year, you were still only 21 last year. You had 3 12-rounders in 6 months against Josh Wow, Ashley Lane and then Lucian. How grueling was that on you as a young man?
It's going to take out the body. I had 2 12-round fights in a short space of time. So I probably was a bit burnt out, but I've rested over the Christmas, rested a few injuries, and I'm ready, feeling great.
Why is it going to be different this time?
It has to be different for me. I'm just very confident in myself.
And the ITV exposure it's going to bring to
That's
some BT
massive,
sport.
massive for both of us, for Dennis as well. He's on the card as well on ITV, so it's massive exposure in it really, and I can't wait to get in there.
Lucian, TV exposure for you on terrestrial TV along with BT Sport means a lot?
Whatever boxer watches for, every boxer wants to be on TV, every boxer wants exposure. Without the exposure, you don't get to a certain level, and not being funny, we need it. So ITV, having the general public, not just the boxing fans, watching us will be a totally different thing. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing the numbers as well.
2 judges scored it the first fight to draw. One had, I think, as Ian John Lewis had you comfortably winning. What is your take now when you've watched the fight back a few times?
Don't get me wrong, I could get hit with a jab and I think I lost the round because I'm like that in the fight, but I comfortably believe I won by at least 1 round. I've not seen any person say that Bird's won, that's just what I've seen. I've not seen anyone say it's a draw. I've seen everyone say I've won, motors, managers, everyone possible. So I'm going to make it right on Saturday. I have to make it right for my boxing life, for my career, for my son, and I will make it right.
Same as I asked Brad, why is it going to be different this time?
Exactly what you said. I'm going to punch in my face a lot more than he's going to punch
Because
me.
it's very amazing.
I've been sparring with Dennis, so Dennis is the worst person to spar because he's the hardest person to hit. So being able to hit Dennis, you'll be able to hit Brad.
It was your early stages last time with Alan Smith at the iBox gym, and obviously as the relationship settled a lot better now, you've got to understand his methods more.
Massively, and we see Al's unbelievable because he does everything he can possible for us, for Dennis, for me, for CJ, for everyone. So we can't thank him enough. And what we've gone through for this camp has been grueling. And he keeps saying this thing, oh, I'm going to be hard on you, Lucian. And I say, yeah, I know. Al's sort of telling me. But he has been hard on me, but I can't thank him enough because come Saturday night you'll see why.
Is it good to finally find the gym where you've really settled?
It's family in that gym.
Alan and everybody.
Yeah, everyone's like, it's like a family, all go in, everyone's happy. I mean, you could be feeling as sore as anything. I know all boxers, Darren Reid, I know you felt it where you're tired before training. You get in that gym and you see your family and everything changes, so it's going to be good. It's a good partnership we've got.
Thanks very much. Everyone will do all the one-to-ones you need afterwards. Francis, are there any tickets left?
No.
Got one.
For you.
Thanks very much. I think the first fight 6:15, the BT Sport broadcast 8 p.m, ITV1 10:15, and then you can go home and watch the BT Sport box office fight between Wilder and Fury. But as Francis says, this is the rematch of the weekend. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.